Hello and welcome to Quiz Time. I'm Jess, back with 100 general knowledge questions. So get that thinking cap on and let's go. Carl and the Passions changed their band name to what? The Rolling Stones, the Beach Boys or the Byrds? The Beach Boys. Vermilion is a shade of which below colour? Blue, purple or red? It's red. King Zog ruled which country? Albania. Where is Doctor Who actor Gugu Mbatha Raw from? Oxford, Cambridge or Winchester? It's Oxford. Where can you find a London Bridge today? In the USA, Arizona. Where was Rose McGowan born? Switzerland, Italy or France? Italy. What is the name of Earth's moon? The moon? But what else? Luna. In which year did Nazis gain control of Germany? 1933, 1945 or 1938? (1933). What does the J stand for in J.K. Rowling? Jessie, Joanne or Josephine? It's Joanne. Norma Jean Mortensen was the birth name of which movie star? Marilyn Monroe. A philophobe is afraid of what? Leaves. The US president is always inaugurated in which month of the year? July, March or January? It's January. Which plant does latex usually come from? Rubber. The Harlem Renaissance was a cultural movement in which US city? San Jose, Seattle or New York? New York. True or false? Benjamin Franklin is said to have created the rocking chair. It's true. Cosa Nostra is another name for which organisation? The Mafia. What percentage of the African continent is covered by the Sahara Desert? 25%, 33% or 17%? 25%. In which Spanish city is the Alhambra Palace located? Very beautiful palace. And it's in Granada. In which architectural style was Lincoln Cathedral built? Romanesque, Gothic or Baroque? Gothic. What was the longest battle of World War II? The Battle of the Atlantic. Which energy source was important for the advances of the Industrial Revolution? Gas, oil or coal? Coal. Louis Vaz de Camours was a famous writer from which country? Latvia, Spain or Portugal? Portugal. The Port Talbot Steelworks opened in which part of the UK in 1951? Wales. Which mountain erupted in Japan in 1707? Mount Fuji. What is Betty Davis's real first name? Ruth, Robin or Estelle? It's Ruth. Who played Sabrina Fairchild in the 1954 movie? Audrey Hepburn. Which singer was born Antoinette Ardizone? Tony Arden. Smells Like Teen Spirit is an iconic song of the 90s by which famous grunge band? Nirvana. Maroon 5 had a hit album with songs about Melissa, Stacey or Jane? Jane. Scotland finished Euro 2020 qualifying behind Russia and which other country? Austria, Belgium or Sweden? Belgium. What is the traditional nickname of Everton? Toffee men. What is the world's most cultivated plant? Wheat. Who was the first black person to win an Oscar for acting? Hattie McDaniel. How many Tony Awards has the musical Dear Evan Hansen won? 4, 11, or 6? It's 6. Which musical was infamously delayed in its opening due to the prop car breaking down? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang would be no good without the car, would it? In which country did our author Arthur C. Clarke spend the last years of his life? Hong Kong, Sri Lanka, or Singapore? Sri Lanka. Author Howard Jacobson predominantly writes about people of which religion? Judaism, Christianity, or Islam? Judaism. The Picture of Dorian Gray was written by which author? Charles Dickens, Herman Melville, or Oscar Wilde? Oscar Wilde. Lonicera is a plant with which common name? Honeysuckle. Which composer had the Christian names Johann Sebastian? It's Bach, Johann Sebastian Bach. Sweet Georgia Brown is the theme song for a New York team in which sports? Baseball, basketball, or football? It's basketball. The Space Needle is a major landmark of which city? Seattle. Which famous bridge was designed by Benjamin Baker and John Fowler? Tower Bridge, Forth Bridge, or Humber Bridge? Forth Bridge. In which year was Norman Foster born? 1935, 1942, or 1949? 1935. The Shard in London is a It's a skyscraper, a building a skyscraper. Where is the Emirates Palace located? Abu Dhabi. Sorry, my voice almost went then. Napoleon Bonaparte was emperor of which below country? France, Croatia, or Denmark? France. What was the name of Queen Victoria's husband who died in 1861? William, Albert, or Henry? It's Albert, her dear Bertie. In which year did the American Civil War start? 1879, 1872, or 1861? (1861). What was William F. Cody better known as? Buffalo Bill. What is Big Ben technically? A tower, a clock, or a bell? It's a bell. Big Ben is actually the bell's name. What day of the week is Dominica named after? Sunday. Which state did James Dean die in? Florida, California, or Georgia? California. Who did the voice of Princess Fiona in Shrek? Amy Adams, Jennifer Aniston, or Cameron Diaz? Cameron Diaz. Who had a #1 hit with Mona Lisa? Nat King Cole. Diana Ross was a member of which 60s American singing group? The Shirleys, the Supremes, or the Ronettes? The Supremes. Colts, Indians, and Fever are all sports teams from which below city? South Bend, Fort Wayne, or Indianapolis? Indianapolis. Famous marathon runner Ingrid Christensen was from which EU country? Norway. Where was the first F1 race held? Silverstone. Which below David is best known as a Formula One driver? David Purley, David Coulthard, or David Ricciardo? David Coulthard. Which Canadian won the 100-metre Olympic gold medal in 1996? Bolaid Ajamoul, Donovan Bailey, or Ralph Adams? Donovan Bailey. Which country boycotted the Moscow 1980 Olympic Games? USA. What is a snowboarding trick in which the front hand grabs the front part of the board known as? So what's the snowboarding trick where the front hand grabs the front part of the board? It's a nose grab. The Hindu goddess Parvati is the wife of which deity? Shiva. Damper is an Australian type of which food? Bread. True or false? There are 10 sheep for every person living in New Zealand. That is true. The famous Japanese slipper cocktail was invented in Melbourne in which year? 1984, 1975 or 1993? 1984. The failure of which crop caused Ireland's great famine in the 19th century? Corn, asparagus or potato? It was the Great Potato Famine. Backtrain and dromedary are species of which large animal? Don't get the hump, they're camels. Who is the Hubble Space Telescope named after? Henrietta Leavitt, Gerald Cooper, or Edwin Hubble? Edwin Hubble. What is Ashton Kutcher's real first name? Christopher. How is sodium hypochlorite more commonly known? Sodium hypochlorite. How is it known? Bleach. What item did Bono fly to London with a first-class ticket after realising he forgot it for a tour? His hat. What was Keanu Reeves' childhood nickname inspired by his football skills? Well runner, the Wall, or Breezy? The Wall. Who wrote the play Death of a Salesman? Jerome Robbins, Arthur Lawrence, or Arthur Miller? Arthur Miller. Before being cast in Glee, Lee Michelle played young Cosette in which musical? Les Miserables. What is the name of Tom Stoppard's play set in both the 1800s and the 2000s? Arcadia. Which Billy Joel song did Princess Diana dance to at the Royal Opera House in 1986? Uptown Girl, Piano Man, or Moving Out? Oh, these Billy Joel questions, and I can't get to see him on tour. Uptown Girl. Elizabeth Taylor became the first highest paid actor for which movie? Cleopatra. Bush singer Gavin Rossdale is married to what musician? Victoria Beckham, Katy Perry, or Gwen Stefani? Gwen Stefani. The James Bond series of spy novels were written by which famous author? Ian Fleming. Samuel Langhorne Clemens wrote under what pen name? Mark Twain. With what genre of books do you associate Barbara Cartland? Thriller, romance, or comedy? Romance. Who coined the phrase "the lost generations"? Gertrude Stein. Whose autobiography was entitled The Sport of Queens? Dick Francis, Lester Piggott, or Tony McCoy? Dick Francis. Uncle Sam is the personification of which country? Asia, Africa, or the United States? Is the United States. True or false? Queen Elizabeth II is linked with the dog breed Corgi. Of course it's true, she had many in her lifetime. The name of which part of Canada means New Scotland? Nova Scotia. Doha Airport is the main hub of which airline? Emirates. Which architect designed the famous pyramids outside the Louvre in Paris? P. With 1,000 plus rooms, what is the largest inhabited castle in the world? Edinburgh Castle, Windsor Castle, or Neuschwanstein Castle? Windsor Castle. In Japan, what is the Shinkansen? Bullet train, ferry, or bus? Shinkansen. It's the bullet train. In which field was James Watt the most famous in the 18th century? Architecture, science, or economics? economics. Before he became an actor, what sport did Johnny Weissmuller compete in? Athletics, dancing, or swimming? Swimming. Alonso began 1930 as a ruler of which nation? Spain. Beijing became the first nature reserve in which part of the UK in 1951? Scotland. Who was the voice of Zazu, the hornbill in The Lion King? Steve Carell, Rowan Atkinson, or Ben Stiller? It was Rowan Atkinson. Who played Indiana Jones's father in The Last Crusade? Sean Connery. Who played a vampire in Interview with the Vampire? Tom Cruise. And your last one. What Kenny Loggins' song spent the most time on the charts at number 1 in the 1980s? It's Footloose. So how did you do today? Drop your score in the comments below, and of course like and subscribe so you get notified every time we post a new quiz. And please join us next time on Quiz Time.